All right. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
this
insert
really
another
sucks
timer.
because it has to be perfect. Okay, anyways.
All right. Let's go. So, I'm Adam Friesen. This is Christina Hernandez. We are presenting the natural sciences in under 7 minutes.
Okay, so the real life examples are coronavirus, making the atom bomb, and Darwin's theory of evolution. We'll be referring back to this as the presentation goes along. So, the core concerns of natural sciences is how we acquire knowledge about the natural world through inquiry and experimentation. This helps us understand our physical, chemical, and biological universe. Although this is the concern of other AOKs, what makes natural sciences unique is that through inquiry and experimentation, we can back up our understanding. It also focuses on the way that we obtain knowledge, how we process it, and it's this evidence and this what and how this evidence gives us a deeper understanding of each aspect of our world and universe. Science can be considered a sign of development, yet it can also be threatening for humanity. As an example, we have the coronavirus vaccine that is would be considered a medical development and very beneficial for the pandemic. However, evolution took us to be more sedentary and now we built like huge cities. So later on, it would damage the habitats, and of hundreds of species. So now, with this in mind, is knowledge a virtue or a curse? We can use the example of Albert Einstein because he contributed greatly to the field of physics and relativity. However, his findings also helped the atomic bomb, which became a deadly
Oh,
weapon later
whoops.
on and was used with well intentions.
All right. So, key terms and all right. Key terms comment. These aren't the only ones. These are some of the important ones. Induction logic is reasoning from specific to general. So it takes an observation and proceeds to widen the lens in which you see it to be true. And the example's right there, but there are issues with it since it relies on intuition more than anything else because you need the first thing to be true. And empiricism is a type of induction. So that's gaining knowledge from observing a pattern and then making a hypothesis from what you observe, which then leads to a general statement or you're drawing your conclusions. Deduction is kind of like not the opposite, but kind of it's reasoning from general to specific. So it takes two true statements and then you draw a conclusion from there. This one is a little more accepted. And rationalism is another form of deduction. And that's where you gain your knowledge from a generalization. And then that obliges you to keep on researching and then test the pattern to see if it's true. And key terms and concepts. Paradigm shift. This is just a big change in the way of thought that happens over time. So Newton going into Einstein, disproving his laws, and then Stephen Hawking and the black hole theory is just something that progresses the AOK completely forward and faster and opens up the floodgates for creativity. An example for a paradigm shift is what do you call it? The creation of the nuclear bomb, because after that, energy has taken off and more developments have been made. Coronavirus, scientific method is being used to develop a vaccine. Theory of evolution, Einstein used deduction to do it. He took a species and then saw another one similar and was like, okay, maybe something's going on here. Sorry if I'm rushing. Time limit.
So the methods commonly used are scientific method, language, sense perception, and faith, and reason. So scientific method is what is universally used by scientists. It uses inductive reasoning, as you can see in the diagram at the right, which observes a pattern, then makes a general statement, and then you observe and then create a theory. For example, the coronavirus vaccine, there is a research, a hypothetical vaccine, they experimented. If it doesn't work, then they start the process all over again. Language. It helps to communicate the ideas and findings. So for the coronavirus and evolution, they both simplify complex concepts for the public. So for example, coronavirus, there is so much going on. They have created apps. They have created a whole section on Google that explains this virus and what is happening currently in the world and simplifies it. With evolution, Darwin created a book which explained the whole concept of evolution that will simplify the concept. Then sense perception. This is because some scientists had to trust their gut and have the faith in what they can observe and infer to draw conclusions from something that had non-observable entities. So scientists have to have faith in other scientists as well in order to continue with discoveries and gaining new knowledge. The atomic bomb is an example because it was not only Albert Einstein; he also did it with other scientists, and also these scientists backed up their knowledge and their understanding of what was happening based on other scientists previous to them. Then without reason, scientists would not be able to analyze data and make theories or draw conclusions out of it. If reason did not make part of natural sciences, then everything would be accepted, every single theory, and science would not be as accurate.
All right, so historical development in the field. Humans can't really lose knowledge as time goes on, since time as people have been recording things and taking down books and all that. Knowledge has only progressed. So as time goes on, more knowledge is gained, and that has completely shaped the field, with especially with like technological developments. So paradigm shifts are another huge. That is like how development happens in science. So someone completely just reimagines the wheel, and that just pushes it forward even faster because it's going to be better. And another development is the move towards deduction away from induction. I mentioned a little bit earlier, but this is a typo. Induction was considered unreliable because the conclusions drawn of it are based off of intuition. Sorry about that typo. But if we go to the real life examples, coronavirus has helped with that, because the progression of like the vaccine, knowledge on how to beat it, how to wear masks, and all that. That's all because of historical advances in natural sciences, and looking into the past. The making of the atomic bomb led to major energy breakthroughs as a paradigm shift, and not exactly, but Einstein was, and it pushed the AOK forward with a new type of energy. Darwin's theory of evolution started from, it's completely changed the way that humans look at ourselves, and it just reimagined everything. So.
Yeah, so contribution of knowledge of an individual is universal plural. So scientists need to be verified, or the belief of other scientists that the general public otherwise they won't be taken or considered as a truth. For relevance purposes, what I mean by truth is a socially accepted theory, statement, idea, or concept. So, for example, when Darwin went to the Galapagos to observe the relation between the finches, he did not publish his book after 20 years. Because at the time society was driven by the church, and challenging the ideas would decrease their credibility. In the atomic bomb, there were many different sciences that contributed to it, as I said previously. So they have faith in previous scientists, as I said previously. And for the coronavirus, we could see it more on the general public side. The vaccine will only be validated if it works on a certain individual.
All right, so how does it affect my personal knowledge? So it helps just overall how you perceive the world around you. So someone may not believe in a God because there's no proof and there's no way of knowing it. Another one believes in God because of faith. But because I've learned about both, I'm able to form my own opinions, and through experimentation, that's how it affects your personal knowledge. Like coronavirus, now I know how to protect myself from it because of the natural sciences and what it's been able to do. And the making of the atom bomb, this isn't as personal, but in school you learn about nuclear energy, and in the future it could very well be more accessible and part of your everyday life. And the theory of evolution, right? So everyone, no one, if you don't know how you came to be, like there's something missing. So it gives you a sense of like fulfillment. Everyone knows the most likely reason why they're here, and that's all because of natural sciences, and people have that. So that's kind of how it affects my personal knowledge. And that's our presentation. And that's natural science.
And that was 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
That's as quick as we're going to get it.
Do you think so?
That is definitely as quick as we're going to get it. I was like speeding through. I was like... No.
No.
I mean, I'm sure, like, what's he going to do? You went a minute over the time limit when you were rushing extremely fast. Like... It's like you have a... No, but it's not going to work. What are we naming this? Presentation